The Arab Spring was a series of protests and uprisings that began in late 2010. Many Middle Eastern and North African countries like Egypt, Syria, Libya, Yemen, and Bahrain have been affected by the Arab Spring. The main cause of the uprising was autocracy, which is a system where a country is ruled by one person who has total power. The citizens of these countries were fed up with this system of government and demanded change. Other causes include foreign interference from a country like the US, restrictions and censorship, which includes on television, online, and in the media, and lack of economic development in terms of unemployment and state of the economy. But are the citizens of these countries better off after this uprising or not? Many would argue that the overthrow of these governments has been a good thing in hopes to bring on a fully functional democratic government. Others argue that the Arab Spring has led to a country in ruins and sometimes even a more dangerous authoritarian government than ever before. Everyone can agree, however, that the future of these countries will depend on the outcome of the Arab Spring.
Well, I think like most governments, when there is this type of a social movement, they react in a very formalized way. So, number one is they, of course, try to mitigate the type of things that you're seeing. And certainly in Egypt, I mean, the government did this because they control state media and they were able to give their version of it. So certainly they were very, I think in the beginning, they were very dismissive. And as things grew, as things got a little bit more serious, and obviously as the media, especially international media, got more involved, as we all saw, they were obviously forced to deal with it in a very different manner. Oh, absolutely. I mean, in the travel business, of course, our company is based in Egypt, in Iskandariya. We have an office in Tanta as well, primarily staffed by Egyptians. So this has had a business effect, of course, on our business. People are very leery of traveling to Egypt. On a personal side, yes, of course, it has had an effect on families. As you know, the situation in Egypt is such as that the economy has been depressed as a result of what has gone on. So it affects anyone who does business in Egypt, anyone who lives in Egypt. It definitely has had different types of effects on different areas and individuals. Wow, if I had a crystal ball, right? I mean, I think you can speak to probably 10 different individuals, experts, and they'll give you 10 different opinions. I do believe that in time, because I do think that the Arab Spring is something that is very deep-seated in the Egyptian people and really throughout the world, is this yearning for, I don't want to say democracy, but this yearning for a voice. So I think once the country continues to find its way, I do believe that in the end, I believe the Egyptian people, like so many nations before them, will find a way to be governed by laws that respect the rights of the majority, and especially the rights of human rights of every individual. So I do believe that hopefully and certainly in not too distant future, that we will have some level of constitutional reform in Egypt. We will have a government by the people, and then life will start to get back to some semblance of normalcy. I mean, that's certainly our prayers that our brothers and sisters in Egypt, like many parts of the world, will have a more inclusive state, inshallah.
Arab Spring began with mostly bloodiness and quick revolution in Tunisia. Revolution removed former President Zain al-Abidine bin Ali and replaced him with a temporary unit government. Rebels in Egypt grew significantly with more power shortly after the revolution in Tunisia. Egyptian revolution was more violent than the Tunisian revolution. It successfully outcast former President Mubarak. Libyan civil war began immediately after the Egyptian revolution, and it was way more violent than the Egyptian. Rebels started civil war against President Gaddafi and received support from Europe and the States. Libya is still undergoing its government transformation, but appears to be aiming at a more Islamic government than Gaddafi had held. Yemen also replaced its government after months of violence and protests. The Syrian revolution is ongoing and has been about as bloody as a Libyan revolution. President Assad has his military as almost daily basis to kill rebels and protesters.